right, we're back. So, um, I want to look at this other book. Uh, you guys will probably not care about social engineering, but I would say that you need to, because social engineering is has been around forever. Um, it's basically the go-to creativeness when you can't physically hack something, or if you can't physically do something, right? Um, or whatnot. So there was a recent, I guess, hack that involved social engineering and had to do with the Vegas in Vegas and with the casinos. And so what happened was is that the I guess social engineering hacking group um, out of Russia. I think it's called um, Spider something. I can't remember. Um, they social engineered um, the Las Vegas employees, right, in the casinos, and got them to reset their passwords. So called them up, tricked them. So what they did was is they used OSINT, right? And OSINT is open intelligence, open source intelligence. Okay, and like their LinkedIn, their Facebook, anything on the web that's legal to look at, and they use that. I mean, and there's all kinds of tools and stuff that you can use for OSINT. It's awesome, and they got information on some employees or a employee. They spearfished somebody or something, right? Or and got them to give up the goods. Got them to worked on them a little bit, buttered them up, told them what they wanted to hear over a period or of time or whatnot. I don't know what they did exactly, but this is what they did, and got that person, tricked them, and got them to give up some information about the company, about the casino, and then use that information to call IT and pretend like use that they were that person or something, and got them to reset the password over the phone. Very little verification, maybe the information they squeezed from the other person, and once they were in the system, they wreaked havoc, right? And then they went in there and they uploaded a exploitation or a ransomware virus, malware, right? Ransomware, malware, and um, extorted them. And this is a couple of this happens all the time in Vegas, and it happens under the radar, right? Because um, some casinos report it. So some casinos report it, okay, and I mean that's not what I mean to say. All the casinos report it to the FBI, right? But some casinos fight it and don't pay the ransomware, right? And then they end up paying more or suffering more losses anyways when they can't get their data back, when their systems aren't running. And some casinos just pay the ransomware, and it's usually anywhere from 10 to 15 million or something, and they usually pay it because it's cheaper to pay the ransom, right, than to um, have 100 million 150 million in revenue loss because their systems weren't working for 2 days and or whatnot, right? And so it's a big business for um, hacking these hacking um, basically I would call them companies. These guys are, they're a gang, right? They're a hacking group that's using, and this one I think it's called Spider something. You guys got to look it up. Anyways, it's out of Russia, and their main attack strategy is social engineering. Now, uh, people are sleeping on this, or people are not paying attention to social engineering because it's not really technical or something like that. I don't know why people choose to ignore um, valuable information. It's just, I mean, it's just, it baffles me. There's like my favorite word is there's many ways to skin a cat. Now I'm sure people are sitting there going, well, it's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. And that proves my point. There's many ways. There's 1,000 ways. There's many ways. There's a lot of ways. There's millions of ways. You can say it any kind of way you want. How to skin a cat. Okay. Um, when it comes to social engineering, uh, this I would say the sky is the limit, depending on how good you are. So if you watch like um, Eddie Murphy, right, and that new show he came out on Netflix, or not a new show, but Axel Foley, the new one. Anyways, if you're old like me, you watched all of them, right? Um, Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, 3. So he's known for his social engineering. He hacks his way into a lot of different situations, but he uses social engineering. That's what social engineering is. So, in a lot of his detective shows or a lot of his detective scenes where he's trying to get into a place, let's say in Beverly Hills Cop 1, he brings in this bag into this place and he wants to get in this gun place or whatever to talk to some people or something. And so he concocts a story and he uses his personality and he outwits them and uses, and he pries them for information. So I can give you, okay, so here's one example. So I think it's in Beverly Hills Cop 2. I can't remember which one. Where he rolls up, he's looking for a place to stay, but he doesn't want to, spend a lot of money at the hotel. It's too expensive in Beverly Hills. So he's driving around and he finds these people that are working on on a house, right? So he stops and then he talks to this, like, the first guy that comes up to him gives him information, right? It's all about information. And he goes, hey, where's the people that own this house at? And the guy goes, oh, the Johnsons are in Hawaii for a week. And that's all he needed. The Johnsons are in Hawaii for a week. That's all he needed. So then he real quick just thinks of a social engineering idea and he walks up and he looks at the guy that looks like he's in charge, right? He's looking at the paper, he's telling people what to do, and he goes up and he goes, hey, who's the foreman here? He goes, I'm the foreman. He goes, hey, the Johnsons in Hawaii told me to tell you this and that, so he had some information, right? Some inside information. So then the foreman's like, wait a minute, he must be legit, because how does he know about the Johnsons in Hawaii? But he just asked some guy 5 seconds ago, right? And that's what social engineering is, and that's how you prevent it, right? You have to follow steps and procedures, no matter what, right? But it's hard to do. I'm telling you, it's hard to do. People will appear to be what they should be, and so you just go, I'm busy. I mean, oh well, I don't have time to do this. I don't, and then you trust people, right? So it's very hard. So learning how to navigate that and shut it down to prevent 15. So can you imagine? Now I'm just saying. Can you imagine this? This is, you gotta imagine this, eh? Imagine it. I was kidding. Anyways, so you're you're an employee, right? And you're making what, 40,000 a year, maybe less, and you're the HR help desk or the IT help desk. It's new, or you're just HR person, new or whatever, or old. You ain't making that much money. You're just in there making a living. You're not trying to take life too serious or anything, right? Or maybe you do take your job serious, right? But you're not making nothing, okay? And so these people come in and they exploit you, and it's not your fault, right? You don't have the training in it. Obviously, you don't. If you get exploited, or even if you do, I mean, these guys must be really good, right? So it's neither here nor there. You get exploited. Then the company you work for traces it down to how it happened and find out it's you. You make 40,000 a year. Training would have been way cheaper to train everybody, but like I said, with training, uh, but you caused the company $15 million if they paid the ransom, or you cost the company you work for $100 million in losses in revenue because they didn't want to pay the ransom. Right? Either way, you lost the company millions and millions of dollars. You make 40 grand a year. Can you imagine that? The the mentality of or the atmosphere or the reality of what just happened. Can you imagine that if you were that person and you go, damn? I mean, it would be a shock. It would be a shock. Now you're not liable for any of that. You made a mistake. It wasn't your fault, right? It's like, but I'm sure. I mean, you're not going to have a job anymore, which is probably not fine to you. But I mean, you're probably not going to be able to work in that industry again if they get wind of who you are and what happened. Unless you so finagle a story yourself, right? Hey, I didn't have proper training. It's not my fault, or blah blah, yada yada yada. Smack it. Doesn't matter, right? But one person at the lowest level can cause something like that. Is what the point is. What I'm saying. It's truly remarkable what social engineering is, and that's why a lot of these big time hackers are practicing social engineering, and all you have to be is clever, like Axel Foley. You know what I'm saying, in the show. You just have to be witty, clever, and you have to use your mind and your brain when you're doing social engineering, right? And but a lot of people are it's not really a science. No, it really is. It really is, and I would say it's I've made a video before, and I would say it's compared to con men, right? And it is, but the difference between social engineering and a con man is a con man is trying to con you out of I guess there's no difference, right? I guess there is no difference. It's the same thing. Con men are trying to con you out of some money or something, right? And they're trying to trick you and make an elaborate scheme, and that's what social engineering is. Social engineering doesn't have to always be negative either. You can social engineer any situation, right? You can social engineer any situation. If you're investigating, let's say you're a private investigator and you're investigating lost people, and the last people that saw her or whatever, you have to kind of go undercover or whatever and get some information. It's the same thing. That's social engineering. You're engineering your social environment or any environment. But now they're linking social engineering to hacking, right? And they're saying, social engineering, the science of human hacking. So they're actually labeling the cyber related con artists, tactics, I would say, or Axel Foley tactics to to hacking by calling it social engineering. I guess I don't know, right? And so, but it's something that combined with OSINT and tactics, man, it's powerful. So we're gonna go through this book, and this is the book. It's called Social Engineering: The Science of Human Hacking. This is the second edition by Christopher Hadnagy. Oh no, Hadnagy, forwarded by Steve Wozniak Wiley. All right, Steve Wozniak. I said Wozniak, but it was Wozniak. I couldn't see it. Social Engineering: The Science of Human Hacking by Christopher Hadnagy, Wiley Publishing. Forward. Like we always do, we're going to start with a little bit of the forward, get to see who he is. When I started Apple Computers in 1976 with Steve Jobs, so it is Steve Wozniak, I did not imagine where that invention would take the world. I wanted to do something that was unheard of, create personal computers, one that any person could use, enjoy, and benefit from. Jump forward to only 40 short years, and the vision is a reality. With billions of personal computers around the globe, smartphones, smart devices, yada, yada, yada. Uh, Hacking has been around for a while. Human hacking has been around as long as humans have. This book can prepare you, protect you, and educate you on how to recognize, defend, and mitigate the risks that come from social engineering. Steve Wozniak. Wozniak? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Preference. Social engineering. I can remember when searching for that term led you to videos on getting free burgers or dates with girls. Yep. Now it seems like almost a household term. Just the other day, I heard a friend, a family, who's not in this industry at all, talking about an email scam. He said, well, that's just a great example of social engineering. It threw me for a loop for a second, but here we are, 8 years after my decision to start a company solely focused on social engineering, and now it's full blown industry and household term. If you were to start reading this book, it would be easy to mistake my intentions. You might think I'm fully okay with arming the bad guys or preparing them for nefarious acts. That cannot be further from the truth. Now, here's the thing. Um, Everybody, well, I wouldn't even say that. I would say even my videos. Uh, I don't want people to use my information for bad. Now, is that because I want to protect everybody and I want to be a hero and all that? Maybe, I don't know. Is that because uh, uh what else? Whatever. I I just don't want people to ruin their lives. So reality is, you start using this information for bad, you'll ruin your life. Even bad guys can ruin their lives. Now, do they care? I'm sure they do. A lot of bad guys are just lost, right? And they don't want to be bad, but that's just how they grew up, and that's what they're doing. But um, this information can also be good if you use it to for good, right? So I'm neither here nor there on it, okay? Because I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be giving out that information. You shouldn't be making videos on stuff that people could use for bad." That makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Absolute sense. The bad guys are already gonna have this information. They're already gonna get all this information. They can literally go to school. I mean, you have like this Russian social engineering group, Spider, whatever the heck it is. You think they got this? They made this information up? They got all this information from books, training, schooling. They have intelligent people that have no conscience and have gone bad. I mean, but But what it is that the average person or the good don't have access to it. It's like my feeling on guns, and that's a really 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 complicated topic, and I don't want to oversimplify that. But it's saying, hey, there's a lot of shootings and stuff. Let's take away all our guns, right? It makes no sense to me. Then the only ones gonna have guns are the bad guys, and that's one thing that I do believe. I'm not Republican. I wouldn't say I'm Democrat either. Um, but that's one thing that I take from for whatever I like, and I don't give a care. It's convenient to me. I don't care. I really don't care what anybody thinks in this world, right? In this whole universe, I really don't care. I do what I do, and the thing is that material like this that we're going through is out here in the universe anyways, right? I'm not gonna tell you how to use it. I'm gonna advise you not to use it bad because it's not good, right? And we want to try to do good in the world, right? But in reality, I'm neither here nor there. I'm just a advocate for education, right? Wisdom and knowledge. Well, okay, so this guy's saying, yeah, dude, I was upset when they said I was arming malicious social engineers. I felt the same. Okay, I wrote my first book. There were many folks who, during interviews, got very upset with me and said I was arming the malicious social engineers. I felt the same then as I do now. You cannot really defend against social engineering until you know all sides of its use, right? I mean, that's just facts. Social engineering is a tool like a hammer, shovel, knife, or even a gun. It has a purpose that can be used to build, save, feed, or survive. So that's what, if you guys know my channel, I never look at these books before I read them. This is all done live action. So whenever I read a book, I haven't read it before. I maybe skimmed it maybe sometimes, but only if it's technical. So I'll skim technical books just to see what I got to do to set up the environment. But even those, I never really read too much about it. My channel is about learning how to figure things out, right? And using your brain and trying to figure out how to read a book and understand it and then apply it, right? Because you want to be able to apply some knowledge or to apply something, all right, to use it. And that's the whole backbone of my channel. So when I read this, I haven't read this. So this, I agree with this guy is saying, right? Each tool also can be used to maim, kill, destroy, or ruin. This is exactly what I just said. For you to understand how to use social engineering to build, feed, survive, or save, you need to understand both uses, right? This is especially true if your goal is to defend. Defending yup, yourself and others from malicious uses of social engineering requires that you step over into the dark side of it to get a clear picture of how it works. You couldn't have said that any better. But see, what I say is I'm neither here nor there. I what does the universe care what we do with its knowledge? I mean, I'm sure it does, but it still puts it out there. It manifests and puts it into reality, the knowledge or whatever given from the universe, right? Let's just say it's here in the physical being. Does it is it saying now only use this for good, only use this for bad? It doesn't say any of that. It just says here, and it's up to us as individuals to make that choice, right? And of course, some people are going to choose bad. Of course. I mean, that's just a given. That's facts. That there's no going around that. So of course, those people are getting mad, like, oh, you're giving all this information of bad, malicious social engineering. Of course he is, but he's also, of course, there's going to be some people that are going to want to use it to defend against them too, right? And that's just the reality of the world. There's always going to be It's like yin. It's yin and yang right there, man. I was recently chatting with AJ Cook about her work on Criminal Minds, and she mentioned that she often has to meet with real federal agents who work serial killer cases, prepare herself for playing the role of JJ on the show. The same idea applies directly to this book. As you read this book, do it with an open mind. I tried my hardest to put knowledge, experience, and practical wisdom that I have learned over the last decades into these pages. There will also be some mistakes or something you don't like or something you might feel is not 100% clear. Let's discuss it. Reach out to me, and here's reach him out. Always use his Twitter handle, or now X handle, human hacker. Or you can email me the website socialengineering.org. So if you guys want to pause that and get this, you can email him. He gave out his email and all that because I guess he doesn't care because this is OSANT. When I teach my 5-day courses, I always ask the student to not treat me like some infallible instructor. If they have knowledge, thoughts, or even feelings that contradict something I say, I want to discuss it with them. I love learning and expanding my knowledge with these topics. See, this guy's on the same level as me, or I'm on the same level as him, depending on who's older, who thought of it first. I extend the same request to you. Finally, I want to thank you. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time with me in the pages of this book. Thank you for helping me improve over the years, and thank you for all your feedback, ideas, critiques, and advice. I truly hope you enjoy this book. Christopher Hadnagy? Sounds like that guy on Catch Me If You Can. Alright, so this video is going to be a quick 30-minute video. I'm not going to read this into these chapters. I want to get you excited for nothing. Just kidding. That first video is always going to be just a taste to get you interested, right? And then we'll talk about it a little bit. I got about 2 minutes. So it's a quick little 30-minute video. I'm going to move on to something more technical here. But go get this book. I heard it. I actually got it from a list from Occupy the Web, right? He did a YouTube channel where he was recommending books, and there's been a recent hack in Las Vegas, and I thought, let's do social engineering that book, and I'm gonna read this book personally, right? I might make a video on it. If you guys want me to make a video on it, let me know. More videos on it, let me know. I could just, I can either do where I just pick the most important chapters, or that I think they're most important and relevant. I can read through the whole book, make a whole series. It doesn't matter. But either way, I'm going to read this book by myself, right? Because um, you need to know of this. You need to know how it works, and you need to be able to apply it if you're going to be on the red team or something like that. Or not even. See, the problem. Okay, so this is my problem with people now in cybersecurity, right? Um, they think that, hey, this is the certification you need to get if you want to get this, if you want to get into this section, right? And that's fine. That's the way it is right now. Hey, this is the this is the certifications you need to get if you're going to get into this field. Hey, this is what you need to read or what you need to study, and if you want to get into this field, right? But in reality, all the fields are the same. Now, somebody probably disagree with me on that, right? And probably go, that makes no sense. You're wrong. You have no. There's always going to be some naysayers. And I'm not going to call them haters or anything. I'm just going to call them naysayers. They want to say nay to everything. I don't understand why. That's their nature. That's who they are. But they don't have enough intellect or open-mindedness or creativity or anything to understand what I'm saying sometimes, or understand that that the, there's not just one way to skin a cat, right? There's, you have to think beyond um, what the norm is, right? Anyways, so if okay, so let's take social engineering. And the point I had to cut the video up real quick because I ran out of time, but I'm gonna talk for a little bit longer. Um, let's take social engineering for example. So social engineering uses, in this context, uses in cybersecurity context or whatever, uses tools. It uses open source um, websites, pages, and information, right? Or AKA intelligence. LinkedIn, company names, emails, Google dorking. You have, like I said, tools that you can use that map networks for companies. It's powerful tools that we've gone through in my series and everything. So you have all this social engineering tools, techniques, tactics, right? So let's say you're in. Let's just say that hack that happened in Las Vegas, okay? And they use the social engineering tactic, right? Okay. Are they going? I'm just gonna say, are they going to bring in a social engineering expert to see how they did it? I don't think so. They're gonna bring in their best people on their cybersecurity team, and they all know of social engineering. And they can be in the red team, blue team, purple team, analyst. It doesn't matter what they're on the cyber team, right? IT, CISO, programmatic. It doesn't matter. And then they're gonna they're gonna know. Most of them are gonna have to be well versed on most things cyber, on all things cyber, and that's just the way the reality is. Nobody, at least the ones that are solving the problems that are in the mix, right? So they're gonna get somebody, and their team is gonna collaborate together and find out what happened. And most of them are gonna have to know about social engineering and the tactics used. Then they're gonna get their data log analysis or whatever. They're gonna get their digital forensics people, or the are the ones that are using like the tools like um, the scene tools or whatever, and their analysts and everything. Then they're gonna figure out how they did it. They're gonna look for red flags and all kinds of whatever, right? I'm not gonna get into detail or whatever, but they're gonna do that. So the people that are in that department have to know about social engineering too. They have to know how what they have to know about various things in cyber. So it's not that I don't know. I would say the more you know about cyber and the more you know how it works and the more hands-on and things you can apply with cyber, all things cyber, I think the better you're going to be as a cyber professional. Because then you can understand the lingo and what's going on. Now you might not be able to take charge for a while. If I don't know how people's, depending on what company, you might have to earn your keep, make your bones, work your way up to have a voice. Depending on where you work, I don't know. But I'm just saying, but you're gonna understand what's happening. You're gonna understand the lingo, right? And it's all connected. Whenever people make a decision or make a choice on something in cyber, it's all connected. It's all connected to everything. I would say that's why this Russian group's called Spider Connect or something like that. It's true. It's all one big spider web that's connected, and that's how I see cyber. It's not. There's no areas. I mean, there is areas that you can work in, technically, right? But it shouldn't be like that, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, and you mark my words, it's gonna start evolving and changing. because they're going to start realizing everything is connected more so than they think. And then so it's going to start changing. So cybersecurity is going to be not what you what you certification you have to get into this part, what certification you have. It's going to be more about uh, what do you know and what can you learn for the department, right? And it should be like that anyways on everything. And that's just my rant. So anyway, so pick up this book. Let me know what you want to do. If not, I might just, this one feels like I'm gonna read it on my own, right? Because it's a really probably exciting book to read, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna pick chapters that I feel that you guys should read, or that I should read to you, and I might read a couple chapters to you out of it or something like that, right? If I find it really cool and interesting, and hey, here's a chapter on this book, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, and that's how I'm basically gonna do my videos. I think now I'm gonna, unless they're technical. So, all right, that was Hack the File. I hope you enjoyed or learned something, and I'll see you next time.